right now on 15 News Now.
And how long will these thunderstorms last? The state of Arizona is mourning the loss of 19 elite firefighters. Also, there's hope for chimpanzees used in research labs. Plus, House lawmakers are fighting the IRS official involved in targeting conservative groups. 15 News Now starts now.
Coverage you can count on. 15 News Now starts now.
The state of Arizona is mourning the loss of 19 elite firefighters. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Fred Dawkins. Our top story on 15 News Now, the firefighters died Sunday battling a wildfire near Prescott, Arizona. It's the greatest loss of firefighters in this country since 9/11. Heather Sells has more.
The firefighters were battling 6,000 acres of blazing brush northwest of Phoenix. Fed by gusty winds and triple-digit heat, the flames exploded out of control.
We're devastated. We just lost 19 of some of the finest people you'll ever meet. I mean, right now we're in crisis.
19 of the 20-member crew of the Granite Mountain Hotshots died, with the lone survivor in a separate location. Across the country, 110 hotshot crews are trained to hike into the wilderness and build lines of protection between people and fires. In this case, officials say the fast-moving blaze encircled the team, forcing all 19 to deploy fire-resistant shelters like this one.
When you have that much fuel and that dry conditions and those kind of wind conditions, it can become extremely unpredictable.
This fire was very radical in its behavior. That's what caused the deaths. It was the change in the radical behavior of the burning fuels. They were just caught up in a very bad situation.
In a statement, the governor noted it may be days or longer before an investigation reveals how this tragedy occurred. But the essence we already know in our hearts: fighting fires is dangerous work. The Arizona tragedy is the largest loss of firefighters battling a wildfire in 80 years. It's still blazing out of control in Yarnell, 80 miles northwest of Phoenix. It has consumed half the structures in town. Most people have evacuated.
Governor Rick Scott has announced that he has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Gulf Consortium to create a process to develop Florida's state expenditure plan for restore funding. Now, the agreement lays the groundwork for the Gulf Consortium to work with Governor Scott to ensure that funding sources related to the resources and ecosystem sustainability, tourism opportunities, and revived economics of the Gulf Coast State Act of 12 are maximized when developing a long-term restoring plan for Florida. Key provisions of the agreement established a streamlined process for review, certification by the governor, and ultimate submission of projects and programs included in the state expenditure plan to the Gulf Coast Ecosystem Restoration Council. An FBI audio expert whose pre-trial testimony helped keep prosecution witnesses from testifying at George Zimmerman's murder trial was called to the witness stand. Hirotaka Nasani stated and testified Monday to begin the second week of testimony in Zimmerman's second-degree murder trial. Zimmerman is pleading not guilty to second-degree murder. He says he acted in self-defense when he fatally shot 17-year-old Trayvon Martin last year. Much of the Southwest continues to broil under a sweltering heat wave. An elderly man in Las Vegas was found dead in a home without air conditioning, and nearly 140 people have been hospitalized after falling victim to the brutal heat. Sizzling temperatures are spread from Boise, Idaho, all the way to Houston, Texas, where it reached 107 degrees. Death Valley, known as the hottest place on Earth, hit 128 degrees over the weekend. Las Vegas was a sweltering 117 degrees. At least a dozen runners passed out from the heat wave during a half marathon at Pasadena. The hot temperatures are expected to last through the 4th of July holiday and maybe further. Well, speaking about the weather, here's Dustin Kopp with a look at our first forecast. Dustin, not as hot here as it is out west.
Good evening, Fred. Good evening, everybody. Across the board today, we saw thunderstorms off and on. We're going to continue to see those off and on this evening. 82 degrees by 7 p.m. By 9 p.m. down to 77. By midnight, down about 76 degrees. So still on the mild side throughout the Big Bend. How high will temperatures go on your Tuesday, and will we see any thunderstorms? I'll let you know coming up later in your Storm Tracker weather forecast.
And when we come back, there's hope for chimpanzees used in research labs. That story coming up on 15 News Now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down. Or just need to save money? ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
You're watching 15 News Now with Fred Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 15 News Now continues.
There is hope for chimpanzees used for laboratory research now that the National Institutes of Health announced the decision to retire nearly 90% of the NIH chimpanzees. That means just over 300 chimps will move out of the labs. NIH Director Francis Collins says these retirements will be slow, partly because of financial considerations.
We're talking about several years because at the present time the capacity is not there to handle these animals. It will require considerable expansion of the sanctuary system to make that possible.
That leaves about 50 chimps that will still be used for NIH research. The agency is asking Congress for more funding to expand sanctuaries for retired chimpanzees. Animal welfare advocates such as Justin Goodman with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals are hailing the NIH decision, but says all laboratory chimps should be retired immediately.
It's frankly outrageous and seems like a compromise to assuage the concerns of the research community to keep 50 chimpanzees in prison when there's acknowledged that there's no need to keep them there at all. Just 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service proposed to place both wild and captive chimps on the endangered species list for the first time. 27-year-old James Williams of Crawfordville was arrested in connection with a felony narcotics charge after a canine narcotics dog alerted Wakulla County Sheriff's Office narcotics investigators to a suspicious package in Panacea. During the undercover investigation, deputies observed Williams collected the package. He was arrested and charged with possessions of more than 20 grams of marijuana and possession of narcotics equipment. The suspect package was opened by law enforcement, who observed 2 sealed plastic bags that contained roughly 1/2 pound of high-grade marijuana. The suspect's vehicle was also seized and impounded. During the inventory of the vehicle, investigators located a marijuana smoking pipe and $340 in U.S. currency in various denominations. Narcotics investigators estimated the street value of the seized marijuana at approximately $7,000. Williams is being held in the Wakulla County Jail under a $3,000 bond. Brevard Community College is now Eastern Florida State College. The Cocoa School officially changed its name on Monday. It's also going to start offering 4-year degrees. In August, the school will start bachelor's degree programs in general business administration and healthcare administration. Next year, 8 more bachelor's degree programs will be offered by the school. Officials say 10 more associate degrees will be added by next year. 2 people have died and 6 people are being treated for injuries after an accident on Interstate 75 in Sarasota County. A Florida Highway Patrol did not immediately report the identity of the names of the people who died in Sunday's crash in Venice. 28-year-old Janice Diaz of Cape Coral was driving when her van blew a tire. She lost control of the car, which crossed 2 other lanes before overturning. No other cars were involved in the crash. Up next, House lawmakers are fighting the IRS official involved in targeting conservative groups. 15 News Now. We'll be right back.
Health Insurance Update. This just in for all uninsured Americans with or without pre-existing conditions. The recent health care bill will not take effect until at least 2014, leaving families and individuals lacking health insurance with no immediate solution to their concerns. Meanwhile, medical problems continue to be the #1 cause of bankruptcies. Here's the good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide affordable health insurance for all uninsured Americans, and yes, uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Call the number on your screen now, and in less than 10 minutes, you could receive a choice of affordable plans from the Hotline Network. This is not a discount card. You will have access to doctors, hospitals, dental care, infant care, and emergency services. Call the Health Insurance Hotline now and get you and your family covered today.
Call 800-794-0825. That's 800-794-0825. Call now.
The IRS targeting of conservative groups is back in the headlines. House lawmakers recently fought about the IRS official at the heart of the scandal. They voted to bring Lois Lerner back, saying she violated her right to remain silent. John Waggy has more.
Democrats on the committee say they're concerned about violating IRS official Lois Lerner's Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate herself.
I think all of us, both sides of the aisle, want to hear what Ms. Lerner has to say and what information she may bring. We all want to do our job and get on with the investigation that underlies all of this. But I think we all hopefully are just as concerned about making sure that this committee upholds the Constitution.
But Republicans claim she waived that right when she declared her innocence in a hearing in May, and that the biggest issue facing the committee shouldn't be obscured.
We are not here with regard to Lois Lerner. We are here because there were American citizens who were affected by the agency that she oversaw, who used their authority in the IRS to what we believe to be an oppressive fashion against what could be their constitutional rights and potentially in a criminal fashion.
National polls show 3 out of 4 Americans believe the IRS should be investigated for targeting political groups, especially after the agency admitted it went after religious groups and the Tea Party under Lerner's watch.
In fact, she may well have been a bad person for a few decades now.
At a recent event held by the Competitive Enterprise Institute, Senator Rand Paul pointed out Lerner has a long history of targeting conservatives as a bureaucrat.
Turns out she was in the FEC 10 years ago telling a Republican candidate that if he would just renounce the idea of running for office, he would promise never to run for office again, she'd drop the charges. He spent $100,000 defending himself.
The clerk will call the roll.
Democrats on the Judiciary Committee may be able to provide some protection for Lerner and other government officials, but the widespread IRS harassment of citizens for their political views is bound to be a hot subject in many more hearings on Capitol Hill. John Waggy, CBN News.
3 people are hospitalized after lightning struck near where they were standing in southwest Florida. Manatee County Fire Rescue says the 3 were standing outside a Bradenton house early Monday when lightning struck nearby. Authorities say the 3 are in stable condition. A Lee County Sheriff's Office patrol car also was struck by lightning early on Monday. The deputy driving the car had to pull over when its engine shut off. Officials say the emergency lights atop the vehicle were shattered, but the deputy was not injured. Tropical storm Delilah continues to swirl off of Mexico's Pacific coast. The storm had maximum sustained winds early Monday near 45 miles an hour, with some strengthening later in the day. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Mexico's Pacific coast from Punta San Tiempo to La Fortunana. A tropical storm watch is in effect from North Lanfranchudo to Cabo Corrientes. Delilah is expected to bring winds and rain to the county's coastline over the day and into the night.
I'm Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Dustin Kopp. Will we see any thunderstorms on your Tuesday? I'll let you know. Coming up next, we'll be right back.
Mom! Mom?
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. Right now we have a mostly cloudy sky with a few showers and thunderstorms out there. Current temperature 86 with 90 degrees is our current heat index. Current dew point 70 with 58% humidity and a south wind at 9 miles per hour. We're going to continue to see thunderstorms off and on and hot and humid times as well. Definitely a summertime feel across the area. As we look at our forecast here in the area, we're going to possibly see some heavy thunderstorms throughout the Big Bend. The northern portions of the Big Bend, not so much, but the southern portions we could see. We're also going to see some hot and humid times over the area as well. All right, here's your forecast. If you're heading out and about this evening, possibility of some showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures in the low 80s at 7 p.m., 77 degrees at 9, and by midnight, a temperature around 76. For tonight, down to 74 with thunderstorms likely, south wind 5 to 10. For tomorrow, another warm day, 87 degrees with thunderstorms, south wind 5 to 10. And looking ahead the next several days, 87 with heavy thunderstorms on your Wednesday as well. Thursday, thunderstorms likely, 86. 89 and isolated thunderstorms on Friday, Saturday and Sunday near 90 degrees with isolated thunderstorms, and then partly sunny skies on your Monday with a high of 88. Don't forget to get the latest weather information at our website, WSFD15.com.
Layoffs and a slumping economy have many families learning new ways to save and spend. Meet one family who's seen their efforts pay off in today's Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Meyer.
I'm Stacy Johnson. When you die, your stuff is divided up and given to your next of kin. But what if your stuff is in the cloud? Dealing with data when you die. That's just ahead on Money Talks News.
I can't travel. I can't sit for very long. I can't stand for very long. I can't sleep. It's difficult to find any joy. It's unbelievable how just a few months of taking Nopalea, how it's changed my life, how much better I feel. You just get a total appreciation, new appreciation for life that I haven't had in so long.
With over 8 million bottles of Nopalea sold, we know it will work for you. Pick up the phone and call now. Learn how to get your 32-ounce bottle of Nopalea free. You'll also receive the Secret Killer Special Report that talks about the dangers associated with inflammation and an audio CD that explains the science behind the Nopal Superfruit.
I just know it worked, and it helped me, and it'll help you too.
Get on the road to wellness now.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family. So I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
Keeping finances under control reduces stress in families and marriages, but it's easier said than done. In today's Focus on the Family, Dr. Bill Meyer introduces us to a couple who's learned some budget tricks.
At the thrift store, they had dollar shirts, and this is a shirt.
Karen is giving us a peek into what she calls the underground economy,
a lifestyle that helps families live within their means.
Things like Free Cycle, which is a Yahoo group where people just swap things for free. You can't charge. There's resources in the community for landscaping materials, for free paint.
You got garage sales, architectural salvage for stuff like that around the home.
The Fornoffs stretch every dollar because they're trying to pay off debt while living on one income. They know that strained finances are one of the leading causes of marital conflict.
Finances are so emotionally laden, and if we're lacking control over those, typically we're overspending, and that just leads to lots and lots of tension in the home.
So anything a couple can do to ease that tension is a good idea. Karen and John have learned a few tricks.
I shopped once a month because you got paid once a month. Every meal was maximum food value and nutrition. Everything was from scratch. You won the game if you could get to the last day of the month and still have balanced meals going on the table.
Another thing is developing a secondary income. She taught flute. She did pencil portraits. I did video production on the side and radio stuff on the side, wrote on the side.
The Fornoffs say their best budgeting tip is learning the art of delayed gratification, something that doesn't come easy to most Americans.
How you procrastinate purchasing. It's creative procrastination, it's what it is.
This is a base cabinet that we added Formica tops to.
I research for what I want, and eventually the time is right, and
then it goes on sale.
I'm Dr. Bill Meyer for Focus on the Family.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit our website, WSFD15.com, and click on the Focus on the Family link. Estate planning often involves preparing for the distribution of stuff and money when a person dies. But what happens to your data? Money expert Stacy Johnson explains.
As long as people have lived, they've been dying. And when they do, their possessions are rounded up, then divided up. But the digital age has made all this more complicated because now everything from your communications to your favorite photos exist only in digital form. So when you die, like your spirit, it's in the clouds. So what's going to happen to your iTunes library, Facebook photos, all the emails you've sent over the years, e-books you've written? And then there's all the stuff on your hard drive. You know, before the information age, there was no digital you. Now there is. So here are some tips to deal with it. First, passwords. Make a list and put it in the hands of someone you trust. Don't, however, leave those passwords in your will because wills become a public document. Next, learn the policies of the services you use. For example, Google recently started something called the Inactive Account Manager. If you don't log on for a certain amount of time, this free service will notify the people you choose and give them access to documents, emails, and photos stored with Google. Or if you choose, it'll destroy it all. But Yahoo, Microsoft, and others have different policies, so check them out. There are also paid services that will help you organize your estate, store important digital files, and transfer them on your death. This one, for example, is $3 a month or $300 for a lifetime. But whether you pay someone or not, organize. Make your pictures and files easy to find for you now and loved ones later. And if you've got things on your hard drive you want to die with you, then you're going to have to password protect your hard drive and take that password to the grave. Bottom line, digital death is something new in the human experience, and it's something we should all consider. Want more information? Go to MoneyTalksNews.com and do a search for estate planning. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
As Stacy said, he's got a lot of information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website, WSFD15.com. Click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu.
Mom! Mom? Oh, no.
This mom was lucky that her daughter happened to stop by. Can your mom or dad reach a phone in such an emergency? The solution is Life Alert. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
Linda, thank you for finding Life Alert for me. I feel much safer having it.
Whenever my mother needed help, Life Alert was there.
Because of Life Alert, my mother's life was saved.
Life Alert definitely saved my mother-in-law's life that day. There's no doubt about it.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. That's 1-800-821-5206. Call now, 1-800-821-5206. For a free brochure, call 1-800-821-5206. 1-800-821-5206.
I needed coverage that I could afford, so I called ICANN.
When I lost my job, I needed health benefits from my family, so I called ICANN.
With my history, I couldn't get health insurance, so I called ICANN.
Going without health insurance? One call can change it all. Rates too high? You've been turned down, or just need to save money. ICANN has plans to meet your needs, no matter your income. We have plans that include coverage for doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, emergency room visits, and the list goes on. But wait, there's more. ICANN has programs that connect you with licensed doctors round the clock from wherever you are. And as a special bonus, if you call right now, we'll send you a no-cost, no-obligation Humana prescription drug savings card just for calling.
That's a savings of up to 50% off your prescriptions at 54,000 participating pharmacies nationwide.
So don't wait. Call ICANN right now.
This is Sports Zone.
Jeremy Hellickson earned his 5th June win in the Tampa Bay Rays to beat the Detroit Tigers 3-1 Sunday in a game that included an early warning by the umpires. Hellickson allowed 1 run over 6+ innings. He tied the team record for victories in 1 month, held by Matt Moore, David Price, and Scott Kazmir. Fernando Rodney pitched the 9th for his 17th save. Jeff Mathis hit a grand slam with 1 out in the 9th inning Sunday, lifting the Miami Marlins over the San Diego Padres 6-2. The Padres deployed a 5 infielder, 2 outfielder defense for Mathis, and he hit a 1-0 pitch past everyone and into the Padres bullpen. Logan Morrison walked against Tyson Ross, 0-4, who took the 9th. Took second on a single by Marcell Ozuna, then advanced to third on a flyout. Pinch hitter Greg Dobbs was intentionally walked to load the bases, and Mathis followed with his 2nd home run. Matt Kenseth's fuel-only pit road gamble helped him beat Jimmy Johnson late and win Sunday's rescheduled 400-mile NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Kentucky Speedway. A race that was Johnson's to lose ultimately became Kenseth's series-high 4th victory of the season, even though he passed on getting new tires following the race's 9th caution. He widened his lead after a wild 4-wide restart on lap 246 that saw Johnson's number 48 Chevy spin from a 2nd place onto a dominant day. He led 182 of 267 laps. The series points leader finished 9th. Rain on Saturday forced NASCAR officials to postpone the race to a daytime start, and that's a day in sports.
Thanks for joining Dustin and me on 15 News Now. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Until then, God bless everybody.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.